Working in a windowless cubicle, in a polluted oil field, or in a crowded retail store, all are the examples of environmental stress. Working in a windowless cubicle, polluted oil field, or crowded retail store are all examples of environmental stress. A self-fulfilling prophecy is an example of which motivational theory? A self-fulfilling prophecy is an example of which motivational theory? The expectancy theory. The expectancy theory. What is true of appropriate self-disclosure? What is true of appropriate self-disclosure? It is a way to achieve good emotional health. It's a way to achieve good emotional health. What does it mean to value diversity? What does it mean to value diversity? Answer: respecting differences and encouraging every worker to make a full contribution to the organization. Respecting differences and encouraging every worker to make a full contribution to the organization is the value of diversity. Emotional competence includes two major personal competences. Emotional competence includes two major dimensions. I screwed this one up. Right. Yeah.
Can you slow?
Hell no, Charles. I'm not going to slow down. Yeah, I will. Emotional competence includes two major dimensions: personal competence and social competence. Emotional competence includes two major dimensions: personal competence and social competence. Remember, this is an open book, okay? So you guys have plenty of opportunities to crank this. When extending praise to employees, which of the following is recommended? When extending praise to employees, which of the following is recommended? Praise people immediately. Praise people immediately. Which of the following is true regarding discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation? Which of the following is true regarding discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation? It is becoming a larger issue as individuals are less willing to hide their orientation at work. It is becoming a larger issue because less individuals are willing to hide their orientation at work. The basic reaction humans have to stress or threatening situations. The basic reaction humans have to threatening situations. Remember that one?
Fight or flight.
Fight or flight. So the basic reactions humans have to stress or threatening situations is the fight or flight. The work area pollutant that most affects people in the workplace is the noise area, or the work area pollutant that most affect people. Noise. Noise. Recent research demonstrates that 90% of all illness is due to stress. Recent research demonstrates that 90% of all illness is due to stress. John is using contemporary motivational strategy of moving decision-making authority and responsibility to the lowest possible levels in his organization. John is using blank as a motivational tool. It's the only question you have with the guy's name, John. So John is using blank as a motivational tool. Empowerment. Empowerment. John is using empowerment as a motivational tool. Which of the following statements are true regarding age in the workplace? Which of the following statements are true regarding age in the workplace? Older workers are productive, cost-effective employees. Older workers are productive, cost-effective employees. Yeah, straight. choose one answer. Well, I guess that's the question here. Positive reinforcement is based on two facts about human nature. People appreciate recognition, and positive reinforcement is based on two facts about human nature. People appreciate recognition, and they want to know how well they're doing. That's the answer. They want to know how well they're doing. Self-disclosure can increase the accuracy of communication. Self-disclosure can increase the accuracy of communication answered by enabling others to know how to respond effectively to an individual. By enabling others to know how to respond effectively to an individual. Because organizations must change rapidly in a volatile global market, non-supervisory employees must be prepared to, because organizations must change rapidly in a volatile global market, non-supervisory employees must be prepared to provide a diversity of leadership by demonstrating leadership on the job. By providing a diversity of leadership, by demonstrating leadership on the job. And really, when we talk about human relations on the job, this is probably 2% of the total managers that are out there. Very few of them have their active data. Remember, 90% of all stress, or 90% of the problems deal with stress, health problems. And then number one in the work world is incompetent managers. Because organizations, I read that one, an individual demonstrates prejudice when he or she makes judgments without examining the facts. Makes judgments without examining the facts. People can be subject to subtle discrimination, which is not illegal. On the basis of, people can be subject to subtle discrimination, which is not illegal on the basis of weight. All the other ones are law-based.
How are the other examples?
The other ones are age, race, religion.
Okay, yeah.
Discrimination against people who are mentally or physically challenged was made illegal by discrimination against people who are mentally or physically challenged was made illegal by the American Disabilities Act, ADA. Americans with Disabilities Act. Energy can be defined as the force that helps us do things with vitality and intensity. The force that helps us do things with vitality and intensity. In the age of information, progressive companies are those that, discover creative ways to generate positive energy. Discover creative ways to generate positive energy. When an organization has a leadership style that emphasizes team building, you tend to also have, when an organization has a leadership style that emphasizes team building, you tend to also have all the above. Higher productivity and profitability, greater job satisfaction, and lower stress for employees, outcomes that are greater than the sum of various inputs. So all of the above. People can easily be discriminated against based on race because common sense would tell you this one. People cannot change these biological inherited traits. I mean, if they're African American, it's pretty clear they're African American, right? People cannot easily be discriminated against based on race because people cannot change these biological inherited traits. If a manager recognizes employees' efforts and gives employees better working condition and pay, the manager is using blank to motivate the workers. If managers recognize employees' efforts and give employees better working conditions and pay, the manager is using blank to motivate the worker. The maintenance factor. Maintenance factor to motivate the workers. A group staffed with a mix of specialists focused on common objectives within an organization is called a, so you got different mix of specialists. A group of staff with a mix of specialists focused on a common objective within the organization is called a, what kind of team? Cross-functional team. Cross-functional team. What can individuals do to enhance diversity? What can individuals do to enhance diversity? Develop a sensitivity to differences. Develop a sensitivity to differences. A manager could apply a win-win strategy by, a manager can apply a win-win strategy by, answer, concentrating on common interests, not differences. Concentrating on common interests, not differences. A problem-solving style can be described as a problem-solving style can be described as assertive and cooperative. Assertive and cooperative. Which of the following is true about violence in the workplace? Which of the following is true about violence in the workplace? It is considered the #1 security concern for security officials who participated in the Pinkerton study. It is considered the #1 security concern by security officials who participated in the Pinkerton study. The situational leadership model. The situational leadership model adapts the leadership style to the employee. Adapts the leadership style to the employees. A lose-lose conflict management strategy. A lose-lose conflict management strategy. Answer may be appropriate arbitration solution. May be an appropriate arbitration solution. Union negotiations. May be an appropriate arbitration solution. Trust is a complex emotion that combines 3 components. Trust is a complex emotion that combines 3 components. These components are caring, competency, commitment. Caring, competency, commitment. Assertive behavior. Assertive behavior. Answer is tends to violate the rights of others. Assertive behavior tends to violate the rights of others. The process of creating organizational culture where the primary and secondary dimensions of diversity are respected. The process of creating organizational culture where the primary and secondary dimensions of diversity are respected is known as managing diversity. Managing diversity. Leaders must often assume a role of coach. Leaders assume the role of coach. Understanding what motivates anyone is not easy because each individual has different blank. Understanding what motivates anyone is not easy because each individual has different answers, values, attitudes, and needs. Values, attitudes, needs. Which of the following statement is an example of someone demonstrating aggressive behavior in a group meeting situation? Well, that would Self-explanatory, right?
Yeah.
You can look at these and know exactly. Look at the following statement as an example of someone demonstrating aggressive behavior in a group meeting situation. Are you crazy? You'll never get anywhere if you try negotiating with management. Because management sucks. The unknown area of the Johari window is, the unknown area of the Johari window is an area that you and others can never know completely and can never completely disappear. An area that you and others can never know completely and that can never completely disappear. Sleep is an effective stress management technique. Sleep is an effective stress management technique because it allows your body restoration process to work. It allows your body's restoration process to work. Good advice for anyone who wants to build an outstanding leader is to be guided by the law of empathy. Good advice for anyone who wants to become an outstanding leader is to be guided by the law of empathy, which states leaders are sensitive to and aware of the needs, feelings, and motivations of those they lead. Leaders are sensitive to and aware of the needs, feelings, and motivations of those they lead. In terms of the leadership grid, the style that is most positively associated with productivity and profitability and physical and mental health is blank management. In terms of the leadership grid, the style that is most positively associated with productivity and profitability and physical and mental health is blank management. Team management. You know, even if you guys just did this open book, this would really be a crappy one. Well, you got 2 hours? I don't know, take it down, man. Herzberg's. Oh, remember Herzberg? Herzberg. Motivational factors parallel to some degree which of the needs in Maslow's theory. Herzberg's motivational factors parallel to some degree which of the needs in Maslow. Self-actualization needs and esteem needs. Self-actualization needs and esteem needs. Blank is often required for the unconsciousness to process and unravel problems. Blank is often required for the unconsciousness to process and unravel problems. Solitude. That's not my answer. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say sleep.
Solitude is often required for the unconsciousness to process and unravel problems. When ethnocentrism is present, the values of one's own culture are being used as a yardstick to measure the worth of other cultures. The values of one's own culture are being used as a yardstick to measure the worth of other cultures. Ethnocentrism. Conflict in organizations can result in all of the above. Conflict in an organization can result in all of these, all of the above. The answers can serve as an opportunity for growth, may have negative consequences, and therefore must be managed carefully, can clarify relationships, and provide new ways to think about these issues. So conflict in the organization can result in all of these. When an individual creates a diversity profile, the person is assessing the diversity of friends, coworkers, and acquaintances. Assessing the diversity of friends, coworkers, and acquaintances. Warning signals of too much stress. Warning signals of too much stress. There's a lot of them. So that means they're different for each person. Remember one supervisor I worked for, he pulled the hair out of the back right here. He just kept yanking and said he did these bald spots.
Oh, geez.
So you know how much stress he's under, how big the bald spots
A lot of gray in their hair.
are.
A lot of gray in their hair.
Yeah, and sometimes that is, and sometimes not. Companies use blank as a resource for employees dealing with personal problems, substance abuse, and to keep minor problems from becoming big ones or major ones. Company use blank as a resource for employees dealing with personal problems, substance abuse, to keep minor problems from becoming major ones. That's an employee assistance program. An employee assistance program. The brain is reoriented from a stressful flight or fight mode to one of acceptance during the activity of. The brain is reoriented from a stressful fight or flight mode to one of acceptance during the activity of, and they have in their answer, meditate. There's laughing, exercising, meditating, and sleeping, and I think all of them are okay in my book. So, but the answer here for the test is meditating. The rules of appropriate self-disclosure include, answer, accurately describing your feelings and emotions. Accurately describing your feelings and emotions. Humor relieves stress by being a gentle exercise, a form of inner jogging. Being a gentle exercise, a form of inner jogging. Inner jogging? Yeah, I don't get it. I just went jogging. You just went jogging. A common misconception about the use of positive reinforcement. A common misconception about the use of positive reinforcement is. Answer, the use of positive reinforcement increases the demands for a raise. The use of positive reinforcement increases the demands for a raise. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is based on several assumptions, one of which is Maslow's hierarchy of needs is based on several assumptions, one of which is answer, only unsatisfied needs motivate behavior. Only unsatisfied needs motivate behavior. Which of the following is not true about exercise? Which of the following is not true about exercise? Answer. Exercise